What's going on, guys? Wallpapers Tech here, coming back at you with another video. This is the beginner's guide to the Alcatel Glimpse. In this video, I'm going to be showing you some tips and tricks for this phone to help you get started. Now, before we go any further, I do want to remind you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It helps out the channel a lot. But with that being said, let's get into it. So the first thing I want to show you is how to use the dark theme. This feature is pretty self-explanatory. Basically what it does is changes the theme of your phone to darker colors. So for example, this is all going to be much darker. So let me show you how it works. So we're going to go to our settings, go to display, and dark theme is right here. You're going to want to toggle it on. And as you can see, the phone is now in dark mode. And just as a side note, dark mode does use a little bit less battery than light mode, since of course it doesn't have to work the display as hard. So if you want a cool looking aesthetic and to save a little bit of battery, dark mode is definitely a nice feature to have. The next thing I'm going to show you is a feature called Nightlight. Basically what Nightlight does is tints your screen in an amber color to help filter out blue light. A lot of people do like to use this together with dark mode, since again it seems to save a little bit of battery, and since it filters out blue light, it somewhat prevents the display from hurting your eyes. So to get to the Nightlight feature, we're going to go to settings, go to display again, and Nightlight is right here. So we're going to want to turn this on. And as you can see, the display changed a little bit. It now looks a little bit warmer, and you can also play with the intensity, so you can make it cooler or really warm. And you can also set a schedule. Lots of people like to do it from sunset to sunrise, or you can do a custom time. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to control your sounds. Sounds can be really useful, especially if you like to have a custom ringtone or something like that, but they can also be really annoying and disruptive too, depending on your setting. So I'm going to show you how you can customize some options. So we're going to go back to settings, go to sound, and we got a few things we can control. First of all, the media volume. So if you're listening to music, watching a video, something like that, that's what this is going to control. Call volume. Now this is actually not your ringtone. As you can see here, this is your ringtone, but the call volume is going to be the noise of the earpiece. So when you're talking on your phone, that's what this is going to control. Ring volume, that's going to be for calls, of course, and text messages, and pretty much all your notifications. Alarm volume, pretty self-explanatory. Now vibrate for calls, this only applies if you're not in vibrate mode. So if you're not in vibrate mode and you actually have your ringtone on, you can also have it vibrate as well. Do not disturb, pretty self-explanatory, but there's also a quicker way to turn on do not disturb by just opening your notification center and pressing this little minus icon right here. That's going to turn it on do not disturb. You can change your ringtone right here, and of course add ringtone if you want to do a custom one. Underneath that, you can change your notification sound, and if we hit advanced, you can change your alarm sound. In here, you can control the dial pad tones, screen locking sounds, charging sounds and vibration, touch sounds, and touch vibration. Now it's important to note that this stuff only seems to work when you're not in vibrate mode. So if your phone is silenced and you're not hearing the screen locking sounds and all that, then that's probably why. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to customize your notifications. Just like sounds, notifications are of course really important, but they can also get really annoying, especially if you have a lot of apps. So I'm going to show you how you can customize them. We're going to go to our settings, go to apps and notifications right here. So first up, you're going to see all the apps that have sent you notifications within the last 7 days. And here's where you're going to be able to turn some off if they keep sending you things and you don't want to hear from them anymore. And if we go back to the main notification menu and hit advanced, you're going to see a few other options as well. The blink light is pretty interesting. A lot of phones don't have this, but this phone does. It's basically going to blink a light when you get a notification. It's on by default, so if you don't want it to do it, you can simply toggle it off. Here, once again, you can change your default notification sound and turn on do not disturb, but once again, you don't need to go to any type of settings menu to do this. All you need to do to turn on do not disturb is swipe down and press this little icon right here, the minus, and when it's highlighted in green, remember the green means it's on, and when it's grayed out, it's off. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to change your wallpaper. Now there are a couple ways to do this. The first one is simply to go to your gallery and select whichever wallpaper you want. Hit the dots right here. hit use as. It's gonna ask which app you wanna use it for. If you have Google Photos, I don't really know why it makes it this complicated, but this is basically just how it works. If you ever wanna use a photo for your contacts or something like that, you're gonna hit this, of course, and then otherwise, you're just gonna wanna hit this right here where it says gallery, set wallpaper, and then whichever one you want, so your home screen, lock screen, or both. Now the other way to change your wallpaper is by going to your settings menu, going to display, go to wallpaper, and now you can choose between your photos and the stock wallpapers that are already on your phone. Now, of course, you can't get to these stock wallpapers from your photos, so if you want one of these, then you're gonna have to do it this way. But if you just want something from your photos, you can do it directly from your gallery like I just showed you. Now, if that wasn't enough, there's actually a third way to change your wallpaper and customize some other settings as well. This is really easy and fast, but I feel like a lot of people overlook it. All you need to do is press your finger on the home screen like this. This is gonna show up and you can either go to your home settings or change your wallpaper from here. The next thing I'm gonna show you is how to take a screenshot. This is a really easy thing to do, but if you're new to Android or smartphones in general, it might be a little bit tricky because not every phone has the same exact way of doing it. So with this phone, you're gonna press and hold the power key and the volume down key, and remember, press and hold and do this at the same time, so like this. The screen is gonna flash and this is gonna pop up and it's gonna be saved right to your photos. You can also delete it if you're fast enough, but that little banner goes away really fast. But if you do miss it, no big deal. You can just open your notification center and it's gonna be right here. You can still delete it if you want. Now be sure to press and hold these buttons and don't tap them because this is what happens when you just press them. As you can see, nothing is happening. So in order to actually take a screenshot, you do need to press and hold. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to view and manage your storage. This phone really doesn't have a whole lot of storage, so it's always a good idea to check up on this periodically, especially if you have a micro SD card, so you can see where everything is going and what's taking up space that you might not need. So in order to do this, it's really simple. We're just going to go to our settings menu and storage right here. As you can see right now, 8.01 gigabytes or 50% of the storage is being used. And that's due to a combination of the system, which I obviously can't get rid of, and apps that I downloaded. Now, if you're ever in a situation where you're really running out of storage and you want to free some of it up, you can always hit free up space. And that's going to take you to the storage manager where it's going to help you delete stuff like junk files, cookies, and that sort of thing that you might not need. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to change your screen timeout time. Have you ever been in the situation where you're trying to do something on your phone and it falls asleep on you? I mean, that actually just happened to me before this video. So honestly, it happens to me all the time. And if it happens to you, I'm going to show you how to avoid it. So we're going to go to our settings menu once more. Go to display. Go to advanced. And go to sleep right here. A lot of phones call it screen timeout, but on this phone, it is called sleep for some reason. It's basically the same thing. And as you can see, you can have it as short as 15 seconds or as long as never. So definitely play around with this and see which one works best for you because it's going to be different for everyone depending on how you use your phone. Now the last thing I'm going to show you is how to change your screen lock. Despite not having a ton of features, you do get a couple options for your screen lock, so let's take a look at them. First things first, we're going to go to settings. And by the way, I feel like I should mention this. As you've probably noticed in the video, there are two different ways to go to your settings. One is actually to go to the settings app itself, which I just dragged right here. You can find it in your app drawer. Or you can swipe down the notification center, open the quick menu from that by swiping down a second time, and going to the settings icon right here. It's really just preference and convenience, so I've been using both throughout this video. But with that being said, let's go to the settings, go to security, and as you can see, screen lock is right here. Tap here to change it. It's going to have you enter your PIN, and now you can choose between none and swipe, which is basically the same thing, pattern, PIN, and password. Pattern is pretty cool, PIN is basically the standard, and password is if you really want higher security. Now in order to do face unlock, you're going to go back to the main security menu, and face unlock is right here. It's going to have on-screen instructions and how to register your face, and it's really simple and straightforward. But that was my beginner's guide for the Alcatel Glimpse. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you found this information useful as well. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and as always, I will see you in the next video.